Good morning, everyone. Today is the 17th Sunday after Trinity, and the intent is spiritual progress. We also have the octave of St. Michael and all angels, and for our congregation, for our church here, that is our patron saint, St. Michael. So our parish is St. Michael and all angels. So we have all these things coincidentally happening at once. So this morning I'd like to talk about angels a little, archangels in particular, and St. Michael, and the idea of faith, and what does that really mean in our lives, and how does that help us work with the angels and the angels work with us. So it sounds like a little bit of territory to travel, but I think it's important. The intent of spiritual progress suggests to us that there is such a thing. If I said to you, when your children go to school, what happens after grade 1? Well, generally grade 2. They're making progress. And if you're training for something or other, you might be in the third 15 or the second 11, and then as you go on, you might be in the first 11 or the first 15 or something or other. You're making progress, and we're sort of used to that idea, making progress. When we go to work, we start off as a junior person, or generally used to be like this, and then as time goes on, responsibilities increase, our confidence increases, most important, our confidence increases, and so we get promotion, and so we're making progress. So we sort of see progress all over the place. And maybe it's easy to forget that there is such a thing as spiritual progress, because there is. And how do we go about spiritual progress? Well, we conduct ourselves, first of all, in a way that induces that, it allows that to happen. How do we do that? We bring to mind faith. What does faith mean? Does faith mean sort of woolly thinking? Just sort of, hopefully things are going to happen? What it means is you actively are thinking about where you put your faith. When you get into your car in the morning, you have faith that there's enough electricity in your battery to turn the motor over. You turn over the ignition and vroom, vroom, off you go, generally. Sometimes, even if you've got wishful thinking about your battery, it doesn't work, does it? Well, spiritual progress and faith are slightly different. When you put faith in Christ as the person that is center stage, front and center in your life, from your side, the opportunities start to open up. That's faith. Your faith in the progress that you make, the spiritual progress, comes from recognizing the Christ within and the identification of the Christ within. When Jesus was healing people, sometimes he made the comment that the person he was healing had to have sufficient faith. Sometimes Jesus would say to people that he was healing, do you want to be healed? Do you want to be healed? Seems a funny question, doesn't it? If you've got leprosy or you can't stand up or you're lame. But it made them, forced them to think about what the process they were in. Did they have faith in what was about to happen? Jesus was tapping into their contribution. So our contribution to be co-creators with God is to grow in faith. That is, grow in understanding of how Christ, central in our life, can enrich our life. It's two ways, but it's most important to start from our side to develop faith in that sense. It should be very tangible, and after a while you sort of start to feel it. In the epistle that we heard this morning, we heard about the love of money and the difficulties of really focusing on those sorts of things. The epistle didn't say money's no good. The epistle didn't say forget about money and forget about all that other stuff. The epistle said, where are you putting your faith? Are you putting your faith in all the money you've got, and that's what you think about all the time? Because then we get back to that idea of being on sand, being on an unstable platform. Instead, as that particular parable refers to, about building your foundations, the foundation of Christ's stand is sure, having this seal. Let everyone that names the name of Christ depart from iniquity. That phrase that we say at the start of the Eucharist reminds us the task is begun. What's that task? The task of us here in the Eucharist as co-creators of God. What are we doing? We're cooperating with the angels. What are the angels doing? The angels are constructing an edifice, a spiritual edifice, that we are contributing to with our thoughts, our emotions, our intellect, our understanding, and most powerfully, our faith that this is something we believe in. What does it mean, believe in? It means we expect this more and more to become a reality in our lives. Not instantaneously. We have to sort of feel our way into it, like a tight pair of gloves that don't quite fit quite well to begin with. And after a while, our hand changes and the glove changes, and it becomes a perfect fit. And that's what we want. So St. Michael, the angels, what's their role in all this? The angels follow the commandments of God directly. That is, they follow evolution, spiritual evolution, physical evolution, planetary evolution, personal, and all those things. Evolution of all those things. They just follow in a single, direct way. They don't have a little chat about it. They don't say they're going to do it tomorrow. They do it instantaneously. When these commands come from God continuously, they follow them. Archangel Michael is seen to be the head of the angels, the head of the archangels, and our church is under his patronage. What does that mean? Patronage means we have a special relationship with Archangel Michael. If you want to cooperate with the angels, it's not very complicated. Just hold that thought in your heart and desire to do it. Reach out to them, and they will instantaneously reach out to you. They only work with the good in you. Don't worry about thinking about, oh, I'm not holy enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or something or other. They have got absolutely no interest in that. They are simply tuning in to the good in everyone. That's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Because we're not all wonderful all the time. So, here is a fantastic opportunity to be co-creator with God and through the archangels. What does that mean through them? It means they open up the channel. They facilitate a channel. What's the difference between walking through honey and walking through water? Well, you can sort of walk through both, but walking through honey takes a lot of effort. Walking through water is a lot easier. Walking through the air is a pretty piece of cake. And that's sort of what a channel is all about. When you invoke an archangel, like Archangel Michael, in our parish, you are opening up a channel. You're making it easier for everything to flow. Still, things happen from both sides, and intent from us. Please work with me, Archangel Michael. Please help me, Archangel Michael, in the following way, or something. Be with us this morning as we conduct this Eucharist, as he is. So they are ready to work, and they don't get tired, and they don't have a little chat, and they don't have any arguments. They just follow spiritual law. So what have we been thinking about this morning, briefly? A little bit of spiritual progress and what that means. Spiritual progress can come about through faith. That is, an intent to make Christ the centre of everything. Use all of God's gifts. Money, houses, cars, the whole works. Use all that, but Christ is in the centre of it. In order to facilitate all this, use one of God's agencies, the angels, and the archangels. Ask for help, open up the channel, and make it easy for both sides to work together. I think we're the slow ones in this particular arrangement, but we don't always have to be like that. We can have the intent to work on this. So today, the 17th Sunday after Trinity, spiritual progress, facilitated by working with God's will, working with the angels and archangels, and growing in faith from our side, which is an acceptance in our heart of the reality of the Christ. I urge you to think on these things this week.